Hey, what's up everybody? It's video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I said I would turn it back on, turn on the camera again, and talk about the Lakers, and that's what this is. Me saying to you that, what is this, 2012, 2013? Why is Carmelo Anthony still trying to figure out if he wants to go to the Knicks or the Lakers? Why are we going through this for a third time with this man? Bro, the Knicks are never the right decision. Never. Whenever you're trying to choose between the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks, if you choose the New York Knicks, you've made a mistake. Real Knicks fans will admit that too. It just is what it is. It's the truth. Knicks are an organization that is improving. It's not like they're in the dumps like they used to be, so don't get it twisted. They're getting better. They're doing things pretty good right now. But you're trying to choose between the two when you're in your 30s and you never won a championship? What are you kidding me? Stop playing with us. Stop wasting our time. And that's how I felt even then. That's how I felt when he was doing this when Kobe was on the team. God rest his soul. How the hell are you trying to choose between the New York Knicks and Kobe Bryant? You deserve not to win. That's stupid. So I still feel that way. He'd have a championship by now if he wouldn't have did that dumb shit. And now here we are again going through the same process between him and his love affair with that bad franchise. Respectfully, because they are better. But it's like, come on, man. Look, I like Carmelo Anthony, bro, but this is the type of stuff that makes me question whether or not I actually want you here. Because this man, who's serious about going to the Knicks over the Lakers, bro? Who's serious about that? Like, you should have been signed yesterday. Should have been signed yesterday. So I still expect him to sign today. I'll welcome him here when he gets here. But it's like, this is some tired charade bullshit right here. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. It's just tired. It's the same old song. For those of us who've been following the Lakers as closely as I have, you are very irritated by the idea, the reports that he's mulling over you and the Knicks again. This is annoying, bro. It's annoying. We've been through this with him. So anyway, that's what I had to say about that. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is same thing I've been saying. Dennis Schroeder is going to be a difficult piece to let go of. And I would not be surprised at all if the Lakers are stuck with him and he's stuck with us. We may be able to sign him to a very, very, very low deal for his standards. I'm talking $5 million mid-level. If he's not able to find a suitor, we'll probably have to give him that. That's kind of how that looks to me. Because we letting him walk where? China, he don't have no suitors. And as far as letting him, just do that, just sending him home, that's just stupid. He's way too good of a player to even play like that. The problem with him is his price tag and his mouth talking him out of any and all opportunities to look sane. That's what this looks like. You look crazy, and as a result, teams are afraid to take you on. That's the long and the short of it. I don't know if anybody's going to word it that way, but that's exactly what's going on right now. They're looking at him and they're saying, is he okay? Because that man has priced himself so high out of the game that it makes you wonder where he wants to be in life. Like, do you want to play basketball, bro? Like, I can put a price tag on myself and say, yo, I'm worth $3 billion. Who's going to pay for it? All you're going to do is laugh at me. And that's exactly what's happening to him. And most importantly, it's like, okay, so if you're not going to come in here with a realistic expectation about who you are, do we need to worry about you? Do we need to worry that you're going to be concerned about your role? Is this going to be a situation where if you're not starting in front of Russell Westbrook, you're going to cause problems in the locker room? Like, we have a veteran locker room. Don't have time for that type of stuff. Not to say that would happen. I don't believe it would at all. But I'm saying, like, this is the type of stuff that'll bring your value down. People won't want to pay you. They'll look at you and they'll bring the price down just to keep from paying you. You know what I'm saying? It's not about whether or not they believe that you're crazy. It's that they can make the argument that you're crazy and thus don't have to pay you sane people's money. Any and all things in leverage is so very important when it comes to business. That's what sports has taught me. Any little edge. That's what they were talking about on one of the segments yesterday. Real value versus market value. The market will determine what your value is. Not what you've done necessarily, not necessarily what you're capable of, what we last saw you do versus what everybody else did when we last saw them, and what everybody needs in the league at that given moment. If nobody has a center, premiums on centers. If nobody has shooters, premium on shooters. Because the cap makes it so that you have to maneuver that way. So a guy like Dennis Schroeder, who's been in the league for 8 years, 9 years, who's already signed several contracts, should at least understand the basics in regards to how to properly value yourself so you don't put yourself in a position to get lowballed like this. Man, that's what's happened. He's getting lowballed. Why? Because he gave them the ammunition to do so. Everybody's trying to save a buck, man. Ain't nobody trying to give over nothing that they don't have to. Not a coin. Unless you're a legacy act like Kobe Bryant or something, ain't nobody trying to do you no favors at all. Especially when you just got here. Lakers are not inclined to do anything for you. And they offered you a deal that was comparable to what you were actually worth, and you turned it down? As if you were offended by it? That word gets around, buddy. You think nobody would find out that you didn't take a good deal with the Lakers, and you don't think you're going to get a better deal somewhere else? See, there's something that people have to understand when they're in this game. You are going to pay for the organization you're on. I said this yesterday in regards to Evan Fournier's deal with the Knicks. His deal was inflated because of the team he signed with. Had he signed with the Heat, had he signed with a contender of any kind, that would have been down. Why? Because he would have had to pay the premium for being on a good team. That's an unspoken truth. It's not something that you hear anything about, but it's just understood. Because some teams can provide you experiences and opportunities to win that other teams cannot, and that's worked into the value. So when you understand that type of thing, it's like they're going to use everything they can to bring your value down, and anything you give them that allow them to do that is done. It's like, all right, cool. Oh, this man he's saying he's worth $120 million? Perfect. He's actually only worth 80. So now that he's saying he's worth 120, he's a head case. You know what we're going to offer him? 30. And the market's going to agree. Ain't nobody going to sit up here and say, well, the Lakers only willing to pay him 30. The Suns are willing to pay him 30. But I know what he can do. Let me give him 80. Hell no. No one's going to do that. They're not inclined to do that. That doesn't make any sense. That's bad math. No one's doing that. So it's like, Schroeder, you've talked your way, and your representation have talked their way all the way out of any chance of getting a good contract this year. It's over. Like, that situation is soured. What Schroeder should have did, even, and mind you, this has nothing to do with the truth. This is just what you have to do to fix your situation. What he should have did was fire his representation. That's what he should have did. You have to fire your representation, bro. Even if it was your bad idea to inflate your value, the image, the display you must show right now is that you aren't crazy. They were mistaken in what they were doing. And that you've rectified that situation, got proper representation, now ready to display proper value, and is willing to take on whatever costs necessary for the display that was just shown. It's the kind of stuff you have to do to get your leverage back. It can't be your fault. It can't just be you crazy saying, "Oh, I'm worth 120 million." No, it had to be the agent advising me to do that. It was a mistake. I rectified that as the same business person that I am, and now have proper representation to help facilitate my services to whatever team is willing to take me on. That's what needs to happen now. You need real good advisors around you, Schroeder. That's what needs to happen. Everybody thinks they're worth $1 billion, bro. You think LeBron James was happy settling for the money that he made? Are you crazy? If there was no salary cap, a guy like LeBron James would be worth $1.5 billion to the Lakers. You know how much money they're going to make off him? It's a salary cap, bro. Real value has nothing to do with nothing. You got to stay within the game you're playing. And valuing yourself at $120 million when you worth only 80? Nah, bro. You'd be lucky to get 30. So that's what the Lakers are dealing with, man. That's what he's dealing with. That's what Schroeder's dealing with. And, probably other stuff that's going on behind the scenes that's added on to that. Who knows what or why. But the point is, this is what it looks like, and that's why he's being lowballed. That's why he hasn't found a team, and that's why the market is dry for the man. Now, what happens next? For me, I'm looking at a couple teams. But the thing is, none of those teams are inclined to take on Dennis Schroeder in this climate. It's sort of like Ben Simmons. Like, even if I'm kind of high on the guy or was kind of high on the guy a couple months ago, why the hell am I high on him now when he's not worth a damn? Because if I get him here and I'm not happy with him, I'm stuck with him. Because ain't nobody going to take him on for anything close to the value that he's worth. It's guys whose value is already going down. Picture it like this. You're buying a stock that's value's going down. And even though you believe in it, why am I going to purchase it at this price when it's still heading down? You see what I'm saying? Why don't I just wait for it to hit its bottom and then purchase it at the bottom of that dip and then rise it all the way up to wherever it's headed? I'm not going to buy Schroeder on the way down. He's on the way down. And that's how the market's looking at him. See, this is the stuff that ESPN will never tell common fans. So common fans be sitting up here. I hear Laker fans saying, oh, why didn't the Lakers pick up Kyle Lowry and Tim Hardaway Jr.? We should have picked up DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball. It's like, no, listen. The salary cap restricts certain things, and it's very complicated. But once you start to understand how it works, it's the same formula applied to each team. So once you start getting it, it's not as complicated anymore. But it's still a lot of numbers to understand, and even I don't quite understand it like I need to. But what I can tell you is things that you think are possible in a perfect world to help build your team are just not possible. If you got one max player, you can get a lot of good guys. You got two max players, you can get some good guys. You got three, you're going to be doing what the Lakers are doing right now. Picking up everybody from your past because they're the only ones that's going to be able to take the money that you can offer. You know what I mean? And these are the type of things fans need to be able to understand so that you can make educated suggestions on public forums or whatever, and you call in your radio station, whatever, so you can sound like you know what you're talking about. Because a lot of times, like, of course you want to put this player together. And it would make sense if we could just send this guy out for that guy. Of course he's just as good as that guy, but that's not how it works. It's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? There's players on different teams that are better. You know this guy better than this guy. But this guy's worth 10 times more than him. Why? Billion different reasons that have a lot to do with what we just discussed. True market versus real value. True value versus market value, rather. So that's what I've tried to share with you guys as best I understand it, and can continue to try to grow in this area. And as I do, I'll bring it to you as best I can, man, so we can make educated decisions and educated conversation out of everything that we do and talk about. I'm sick of the stereotype that Laker fans are all fluff, that none of us actually think the game properly, that none of us are actually diehards, and none of us actually remember the back of the bench players from 10, 15 years ago. Some of us are like me. We're really, really, really intensely focused on not only our team, but the landscape of our team. We're realistic about what it is that we're supposed to have. We don't want everybody. We don't think we can get everybody. But we do understand, and this is what most fans outside of the Lakers need to understand about us. We understand that we literally have privilege. We have Laker privilege. What that means is guys will take a pay cut to come here. We have been so good and have had so much star power while being so good for so long till we can get things done that other teams cannot do. I was listening to a Knicks forum yesterday. This guy on there, one of their old players, I think it was Wallace, talking about how he wanted DeMar DeRozan on his team, and he was hopeful that DeMar DeRozan would come there. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but he's not inclined to. He's nothing swaying him to do so unless he just decides to. The Lakers, people are gonna push him toward us. You got a whole media conglomerate that's gonna push players toward the Lakers just off default. So when I say I think my team can get Russell Westbrook, AD, and LeBron James, it's not because I think everybody can do that. It's because I know my team can do that. We actually can. You may not be able to, and that's not fair, but it is what it is. You know, so that's the type of stuff that your favorite news outlets should be sharing with you as well. When you're a fan of certain teams, no, the league is not equal. It's not. I'm trying to get it there, but it's not. Guys are going to be pushed toward the Lakers by the media and by the fans and by everybody else, all these social media platforms. Why? Because the Lakers have almost as many fans as the NBA as a whole does. Check the numbers. It's true. We practically carry the league. And I don't know what comes before the fish. I don't know what comes first, the chicken or the egg, because it seems to me that all they do is talk about us. My whole life, all I've heard about was the Lakers. Yes, I'm a Laker fan. I like it. But I don't think there's been a day where I've turned on either one of the major news stations and didn't hear the Lakers as one of the main topics. Even when basketball's not being played, they're talking about LeBron, talking about Kobe, my whole life. And that means everybody else's whole life too. All these players who are much younger than me, that's all they've ever heard about is LeBron and Kobe, LeBron and Lakers. So it's not fair, but to get ourselves educated, to know what's possible and what it is that what it is our GMs and what our expectations could be, it's so important, man. So important, you know. There was also something else. Somebody had said something along the lines of, I think Zach LaVine. I was on a Bulls forum. Homie was talking about Zach LaVine. I think Zach LaVine should do the right thing and give money back, make the team better. Why? You're the Bulls. Why the hell would you do that? Like, seriously, you're the Bulls. No one's inclined to do anything for you. Zach LaVine is not inclined to make the Bulls better. No, his trajectory is within the contracts. When I say trajectory, I mean what his focus should be is his career path, the contracts that he signs and the teams that he's on at that time, and the money that he needs to take back. Now, a guy like Chris Paul, I look at that differently, because a guy like Chris Paul's part of the Players Association. He's the leader of the team. They just got to the finals and didn't win. It's a lot of different nuanced circumstances that go into why I think Chris Paul should be willing to restructure his deal. No different than I look at the Kobe Bryant contract that the Lakers paid him and said the Lakers should be paying him that contract. Certain things are just specific to the circumstance. Kobe gave them 20 years. You damn right they should overpay for him when he's too old to do anything. It's just the right thing to do. We're all happy he did it. It was the right thing to do. We had a championship, 10 years later? It all worked out. 10 years after winning it, rather, it all worked out. Nobody's upset that Kobe finished his career as a Laker, to say the least. Did we overpay for him? Of course. Had we not, could we have put ourselves in a position to have a better team for a longer period of time? Yeah. Anybody complaining? Absolutely not. But a guy like Zach LaVine for the Bulls? Nah, he ain't supposed to get no money back to help the Bulls. Nor should I think that the Bulls be inclined to keep Zach LaVine in the event that he gets to a point where he can't play no more. They shouldn't pay him $40 million at the end of his career. That's not the circumstance. He didn't be there for 20 years. He didn't give and take. It wasn't a love affair. Just a guy came to a team, signed a couple contracts, and did the best he could while he was there. That's Zach LaVine's tenure with the Bulls as of right now. The hell is he inclined to make you better? Make yourself better. Pay the taxes to get yourself better players. He shouldn't have to give a damn thing to you. It's a young player in his prime who you haven't helped win. And he's supposed to help you win? How far is he supposed to get in giving back money? Second round? Third round? What you bringing in, DeRozan? You think that's going to beat the Nets? That going to beat the Lakers? No player should get back no money in a circumstance like that. Hell no. If you ain't Chris Paul in the Suns situation, ain't no giving back no money. If you're not Tim Duncan in the Spurs situation at the end of his career when he decided he was going to take back less money so they could, that's his team. His team. He's the best Spur of all time. Of course he's going to be inclined to help the squad. There's a relationship like that. That's not the relationship with Zach LaVine and the Bulls, man. That ain't that. Y'all paid him, he played for you. Now, if y'all put together something that could start winning, or if he's inclined to help you, that's a different conversation. If he decides within his heart and his right to help you and take back less money, I'll applaud him for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But to say he should? Hell no. He shouldn't. No. No, if you're advising him, you don't tell him to do that. You tell him to take all the money he can get, and the Bulls better figure their shit out. That's it. So, I mean, that's all I'm trying to say about this. At the end of the day, leverage, y'all. Leverage, 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 leverage. NBA, NFL, all these sports teams. When you see players go from one team to another, the name of the game is leverage and salary cap. So if you hear, that's another thing I wanted to say while I got you guys here. A lot of times when I say a guy shouldn't be paid, or when you hear analysts say a guy shouldn't be paid, we literally don't care how much a man makes. We don't want to see him make less money. That is not even a part of the thinking. And I think a lot of people who don't understand this type of conversation will misunderstand that, and I've seen them do it a lot. Why are you counting that man's pockets? Why you don't think he should be getting paid? No, it's not about that. It's about the cap. Money represents portions of what can be divvied out to make a complete team. That's all money really represents in this conversation. So if I say a guy shouldn't get $80 million, that's because that $80 million is out of a total $350 million that'll make it so that you can pay everybody to make a team right. That's why a guy like whatever fan that was of Chicago is saying Zach LaVine should give back money to make the team better. For the betterment of the team, it would be helpful. And if Zach LaVine wants to win, that would be a good way for him to do it. Not bad advice as it pertains to the strategy of building the team. But it is bad advice as it pertains to prioritizing Zach LaVine's priorities and what should be important to him based on the circumstances he's in. See what I mean? There's a lot of different ways to look at a lot of different things. And a lot of times, I think people only look at things one or two ways, or the media will provide you one or two ways to look at stuff, and that'll be all you get. That ain't what you're getting here. Nope, not here. We're going to talk about stuff as best I understand it. And if it's complicated, we're gonna make it. We're gonna try to simplify it. But it's not gonna be just who's the better big three, the Bucks or the Nets or the Lakers. No, we're not doing that. You can have that conversation in a junior high school gym, bro. We're not having that conversation here. But anyway, I'm mumbling at this point. I'm just rambling on. I thank you guys for staying with me. The Lakers. Right now, I'm waiting on Carmelo Anthony as we started. We want Carmelo Anthony to hurry up and make his decision and choose between the New York Knicks and the LA Lakers. Everybody seems to think he's going to choose the Lakers. I'm just kind of irritated by the whole situation. Otto Porter went to the Warriors. That was a big blow to everybody. Nobody wanted a player that good to go to the damn Warriors. Let's just keep it real. Nobody wanted that. How the hell Otto Porter ended up on the damn Warriors? And he took less money to go there too. That's a big, huge, stretch the floor defensive weapon. Who probably is somebody you want to have a lot of insurance for because he has a lot of injury issues. But what I will say is he sure would have helped our team. We would have loved to have him down here. But he's going to help the Warriors a lot. They're not going to ask him to do a whole lot. He's sixth, seventh option. It's a perfect role for him. So yeah, they're getting better, and the Lakers need to get better as a result of that. So we'll see, man. But that was a tough piece for us not to get, especially at the price that he paid. He basically paid the price we would pay him. He just chose them. So we're gonna have to make him pay for that. And anyway, so yeah, man, that's what I got, man. Kind of went on a rant. Didn't have a lot of news, just more so frustrations that I wanted to express. But nevertheless, I thank y'all for watching. My name is BDF. I'm out.